Hello Aries, welcome to your weekly reading with me, Cindy. So this is the second time I'm going to try to do this because the first time it was weird. It literally felt like no one was watching. I don't know how to explain it. It was like radio silence and the cards were mysteriously quiet and it was almost painful. And I was like, it wasn't painful. It was only painful as a reader. I don't know if you're going into like a radio silence or something. But it was weird. So, oh yeah, what are we doing? I'm trying to get over like what I just experienced trying to do your first attempt at doing your reading. So we're doing your current and future archetypal energies. I'm using this deck. You've probably seen it around if you watch other readers. It's quite a popular one. I just got it. Well, I didn't just get it. I got it about a month ago. I think it got delivered the day I was doing the last round of videos for Archetype. So it was funny. So I've had all that time since then to kind of play with the deck and get familiar with it. So I'm going to go back and forth with that one and the Wild Unknown one. But so I'm going to do that. I'm going to look at your current and future archetype energies. I'm going to do an extended as well. The link is at the top of the description. In the extended, I'm going to look at the energy in between your current and future. There's always some interesting stuff in there. But let's get this, so let's try to get this started again. So Aries, what is your current and future archetypal energy? And it's really funny, like that it was radio, it was like radio silence. And I'm just making an interesting observation because I've noticed like the views in my Aries readings have gone down. But then like some of the other readers I look at, I'm like, oh, like it's gone down there too. So I'm kind of wondering if Aries is going through some sort of a stage where they are, a lot of you are not looking for guidance outside of yourself, which I think is great. That's real empowerment. That is like really, really empowering energy. So let's see if any of you come forward to talking this stuff. So I want to look at your current. Yeah, you got two. I'll give you two. You have student and saboteur. So what are you sabotaging and what are you learning about? You're learning to be a saboteur. Interesting. Humility. So it was a student. I'll show you. It was with the first two that came out. So this is your current. There's some interesting energy. You're the only one. Well, I've only done two others so far, readings. That's coming out with two here. So as a student, the light attribute, humility and devotion to knowledge. Openness to lifelong learning. As a saboteur, light attribute highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. Wow. This makes a lot of sense. And it still feels so like, is anybody here? Is anyone? Oh my God. Okay, so going. It's like, yeah, because okay, I'm going to say what I'm getting with that right now is really like, it is a very self-empowering. But it's almost like you're looking at the possibilities of leading your own life and the changes that will bring to your life. You're learning about this. You're exploring this. And perhaps you're doing it in such a way that you're not really looking for a lot of outside guidance. So I'm not going to... There isn't really. Like, this is just kind of reading energy that's currently going on. And then what's going to happen in the future, maybe. So the future archetype energy. The Advocate. Who had... Someone else... Oh, Aquarius had this as the energy that they're in right now. So the Advocate is the future energy. Inspires you to put compassion into action. It's almost like taking this leadership quality... Like finding a way to be the leader in your life here, learning, you're kind of teaching yourself. I feel like you're teaching yourself. I'm kind of hearing crickets in the background in this reading. Like you're not really there. Maybe you're watching, but you're not really watching. You know, maybe I'm playing in the background or something. I don't know. But I do that sometimes. And I see this moving forward. Like when you get this self-empowerment, because going forward, you're going to become the Advocate. maybe even some people might see you as sabotaging things. But what you're really doing is you're empowering yourself. And I feel like once you've accomplished this, you're going to be taking this knowledge, this empowerment towards others in some sort of light-based way. You see? I'll tell you right now, it's reading better than it was the first time I was going. The bottom card is the Rebel. Challenges authority to effect social change. Rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Ooh. You could definitely be seen as a little bit of a saboteur. But look what you're turning it into. It's a little bit like you are trying to shake up the status quo. Shake up the status quo to bring some light, to benefit others. Putting compassion into action. I wanted to go there, so I'm going to leave it there because I want something here now. Ah, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm using my energy oracle cards to add on top of your current and future archetype energy. And the attachment card. So, this is really interesting. We have envy and community. I'm going to tell you straight up, what I'm getting from this is I am getting that you are seeing something around you. There's something around you that you do not feel a part of. And look at these cards. All these cards are singular. Every single one of them, Aries, is a singular card. Except the community. Look at this, and they're not all like look at, I picked up that. Look at, there's two people in here. There's two people in here. There's lots of cards in here with more than one person. But your underline, the Rebel, it's one person. There's only one person sitting on that swing. There's room for two. There's one person. The Student is one person. The Saboteur is one person. The Envy is one person. And then you have your group, the community. And then look over here. So you have your Advocate is one person. Your Attachment is one person. I feel like you are feeling very singular. I feel like you're feeling very singular. I feel like you are, as much as you are detached from perhaps groups around you, it's almost like wishing that somehow you could fit in. I mean, that's what it sounds like. It's kind of like wishing you could somehow fit in, but you're not. Like, you're just not. And look at this Saboteur. Highlights your fear of self-empowerment. So you're going through something right now where in a way you're supposed to be singular, I'm hearing. You're supposed to be singular. Because you were the only one. I don't want to... Well, really, you're the only one that knows your way. Where to go, what you want to do. You're really the only one. And look at even the bottom card here for the Energy Oracle deck is Rest and Rejuvenation with one person again. I'm getting the feeling like you're going to be seeing, as you move into the future, you're going to be seeing yourself very differently from how you see yourself now. And you might even already be getting glimpses of that. How you've been seeing yourself has perhaps been kind of chaining you. How you've been seeing yourself has been taking away your freedom. That's what I'm feeling here. How you've been seeing yourself is taking away your freedom. So in some ways, this is why you're kind of meant to be in this singular energy. To see yourself clearly and fully, without any attachment to any sort of group, dynamic, work group. Like, if you still go to work and there's a group of people there, it's interesting. Because I said it's like hearing crickets. It's kind of like you show up, maybe you come real quiet, you go to your desk, and you're just doing your thing. You're trying not to commute. You're just doing your thing. Like, you're really just doing it. And in some situations, you may actually be completely pulled away where and when you can from groups. Wow, this is interesting. So let's look at the tarot. Find out what, in the current, what you've been working on. What have you been healing? What is starting to blossom? And then in the future, we're going to ask, what will you finish working on? What will be healed? And what will be ready to harvest? What you've been working on is the Father of Wands. Look at you. There, you've been working on you. Oh, okay, that's awesome. You've been working on you. You've been working on your independence, your strength, your sovereignty, your creativity, your mojo, everything to go with fire energy. That's what you're working on here. Everything. Being that lightning rod in here, and being that lightning rod. Interesting. Being that lightning rod. Okay, what have you been healing? Oh, God, I hate this card. This is the worst Nine of Swords card I've ever seen. Overthinking. Thinking worst case scenarios. This is what you've been healing. Trying to get your mind calm and alive. Look at this, the rest and rejuvenation. Interesting. That was the underline, right? Perhaps, too. Perhaps there is such a need to pull away from other groups at this time that it could even be like playing on, like, is this a time, it really feels like for you, this is a time to go within. This is a time to go within, connect with you. And outside influences and sources at this time might be just like too much. I just can't, I've got enough of my own to deal with. I can't deal with all of your stuff. It feels a bit like that. What is starting to blossom? The Nine of Pentacles. Interesting. Because did I say like sovereignty? It kind of felt like that with the Father of Wands, right? And there it is with the Nine of Pentacles. So it's really starting to blossom. Your personal sovereignty, your stability, being self-reliant. Yeah, this is interesting reading. What will you finish working on in the future energy? You have the Ace of Swords, your truth. So you're going to come out on the other end here, living a completely new truth for you. And what will be healed? The High Priestess. Trusting in the unknown, trusting in your intuition. Going into the dark alleys. What will be ready to harvest is the Eight of Pentacles. So what you have passion about, where you put your work in, where you direct your work, who you work with, how you work well with others. I'm only laughing because I'm an Aries too. All right, are you playing nice with others? Trying. This is one of those readings where I'm going to pull the clarifiers out right now. I'm going to look at, actually I'm going to pull out envy. It doesn't feel like a dirty little envy, like, oh, I wish I had that person's car. I wish I had that person. It doesn't feel like that because this person is looking directly at the group. I feel like in some way that you wish that you had something to add to the group. But it kind of feels like you don't have anything to add to any group right now. The only thing you have to give to is you. It really is what that feels like. The only thing that you have to give to is you right now. That's all you can do. And so perhaps in the future you would like to see yourself back with like people. Oh, Aries. People. Oh, maybe in the future we get to take the masks off. I don't know. Looking at that thing. Maybe in the future you get to take the masks off. I know, for anyone that's had to do a lot of self-reflection, self-evaluating, taking time out, this COVID has been great for them. It really has. It's been like a reset in some strange ways, hasn't it? I don't know why these cards are... Why do I have the current and the future so far apart on the table? That's so odd. Maybe there's quite a bit of time that's going to elapse for you here. No. Three for each one. Oh, look at that. Wow, look at all these threes. Lots of threes, guys. Oh yeah, I wanted to pull a card out. No, I'm gonna go to a different deck. Oh, what's on the bottom there? Ace of Wands. I'm gonna pull a card out just for envy. Interesting split. The Four of Swords with the Emperor. It's like the Emperor is resting. That's your card, right? The Emperor is resting. But, oh gosh, darn it. I don't know. What is it? April the 13th. Why would I say that? I was going to say, isn't it November the 13th? This is the Mercury retrograde thing ends, because I cannot shuffle my card. Somebody needed to hear that. April the 13th. Maybe I'm talking to you. Maybe that's when... Maybe that's when COVID ends. I don't know. So... Envy, the Envy card specifically here for Aries. The Envy card specifically here for Aries. The Envy card here specifically, what is this? The Queen of Pentacles and Justice. Yeah, you know what I'm getting from this? I'm really getting like nurturing circumstances and situations that you don't fit into. I'm feeling that, like very nurturing, comforting situations and circumstances that you don't fit into. Perhaps envious or wishful that you could have this sort of energy, that you could be in that energy, that you could fit in. I don't know. There's a lot of us that just don't fit in, so you just have to go with that. Oh, the Four of Swords is at the bottom again. I'm putting that back in. Okay, so what have you been working on? What's the Father of Wands, the King of Wands? This is all your energy, which is great. You're really working on you. You as a whole big, wonderful package of you. And we have the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Swords. Oh, and the Nine of Pentacles. Look at that. That is literally like... I would say this community card to me is like the Three of Pentacles. There's 3 people there. It really reminds me of that. And that's here. Like the Three of Pentacles, there's heartbreak, perhaps, in places where you've been to in the past, where you were working with the community or working with people around you. And the Nine of Pentacles, like claiming this independence. So that's what it is. It's almost as if situations, dynamics in the past were painful, moving right past that. Kind of like moving right past that. That's what you've been working on. So it could be painful to leave them. It could be painful to stay there. But you're sort of making the choice that, well, what I really need is I really need me to be empowered and reliable to me. So you kind of like you need to step up for you right now. Which is really interesting because you're going to take this into the future for stepping up for others. So, what you've been healing is the Nine of Swords. I hate that one. It's the worst. It conveys it so good. It's like, oh, all the energy. And then we have the 3, another 3 again. The Three of Wands, the Strength card, and the Four of Swords. What have you been healing? Wow. wow, this is literally like kind of getting your mental and physical strength. It's like getting your mental and your physical strength. I get the physical strength with the wands and the strength card, and then we have the 9 of swords with the 4 of swords. Trying to rest the mind, trying to rest the body. That's what you've been healing. Trying to rest the mind and the body. What is starting to blossom? Well, this 9 of Pentacles. So whatever you're doing here, right? Like this was something that you've been working on. This real true independence, looking after yourself, looking after your foundation and your future. Regardless of how painful things in the past have been, how painful it is to walk away from things from the past, but working on this. And the clarifiers, what do we have here? We have the 7 of Cups, the 9 of Swords again, and the 8 of Cups. Ooh, it feels like to get to that 9 of Pentacles, there's a lot of confusion, a lot of overthinking, also a lot of assessing circumstances that you've been involved in, things that you've needed to walk away from with the 8 of Cups. Really, it kind of feels like taking the time to pull away from outside influences and energy to think about what is really good for you. To think about what is really good for you. I can already hear the cross watchers. Because, honest to goodness, Aries knows that you have to put the oxygen mask on you before you can put it on others. And I'm kind of getting that energy here for you, Aries. You really are. You're really trying to do that here. And you're getting success. What's starting to blossom, though, is this 9 of Pentacles for you. And it is also associated with the 9 of Swords. So the overthinking, the thinking of all the different ways to have this independence, this stability. I want to say too, because this is showing up twice now, the 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Swords, that perhaps in the past you have found that you couldn't rely on people, or people let you down, or things didn't play out the way you thought they would, or roles were not played the way you thought they would be played out. So there does seem to be an assessment here, but I do want to say, like, that all really also depends on the expectations that we put on people too. So there should also be some self-assessment on that, like any expectations that there would have been before, because there seems to be a real determination for like, I just want to call it like sovereignty. So what will you finish working on? Is this Ace of Swords in the future? This truth, this clarity. Well, there you have the Queen of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and then you have the King of Cups. Ooh, you know what I see here? I'm going to say, like, there's a lot of swords coming through for what you will finish working on. If you have been cutting things out, like eliminating things from your life, okay, swords are about bringing clarity in. I always like to say that sword energy associated with our wonderful Aquarians, Geminis, and Libras is about cutting out the bullshit. So bringing in the Queen of Swords, because she is a representation of cutting shit out, like cutting stuff out. You have the Ace of Swords twice. You're only interested in the truth. You're not interested. I do want to say, like, anything that's hidden, because the King of Cups can have a ton of feelings and emotions. You can have intuitive connections with people and places. But if it's not expressed, it's not really obviously known, it kind of feels like you're cutting that out. You're cutting something out here. Into the future. Yeah, like, it really is a no bullshit energy. We gotta say that. It is really a no bullshit energy here. What will be healed is the High Priestess. Because this can be associated with the unknown too, right? Like things that we don't know. Hidden factors and situations. Interesting that that should show up, but what will be healed when you see what you're finished working on. It's kind of funny, really, like, because I think about Aries, and I think about, yeah, they do tend to be very blunt. Because I think as Aries is one of those things, like, I got a lot of shit to do. I don't have time for your crap. I got this and this and this and this and this. You're either on this or you're not on this. Okay, that's fine. I don't care either way, but I gotta go here. I just kind of feel like that's like, Aries, I got stuff to do. If we have stuff to do, why do people play games? I don't have time for games. I got stuff to do. I got a kid to feed. I got like a lawn to cut, right? You got a boss to respond to. Like, you just don't have time for this. And I'm kind of feeling like this is like you really don't have time for stuff anymore that is not blunt and clear. I would say that. So what will be healed is the Six of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. Wow, that's an interesting healing. Like, this is all coming out with the High Priestess. So healing, the inner child. The Six of Cups is really coming out for me as the inner child right now this week. Healing the inner child, healing major endings, and healing any feeling of being trapped or having some sort of self-imposed restrictions on you, which is interesting. Because it feels like that's kind of what you're in right now. That's kind of what that energy feels like that you're in right now. Is a bit, I would call it like the Eight of Swords. It's not actually out here, but it sort of feels like that. So that's going to be healed. And then what will be ready to harvest? You have the Eight of Pentacles. So things that you want to work towards, things that you want to work on, people that you want to work towards. I wanted to say people that you want to work on, but I don't know, maybe you're a massage therapist or something. So we have the Six of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and then the Queen of Cups. There you go. That's the difference between the King and Queen of Cups, right? The King of Cups is sitting over here with, like, not taking any bullshit. Things that are not expressed, things that are not known or they're understood. And then the Queen of Cups, though, is very expressive. It's open and accompanied by the Knight of Cups. So there's movement. You want to put work towards things where you have movement, where you know, in a way, where you stand with people too. Look at this, going into this direction. It's sort of like you're going into movement and that's where you're going. You're going into movement, and this movement is driven by, it kind of feels like openness, because you're starting with this double Ace of Swords. So, anyone who's dealing with an Aries, moving forward, it doesn't look like they're going to be dealing with anything unknown or any sort of bullshit. Like that. Okay, the Advocate. Let's pull a card for that. I'm going to go, because you're advocating, though. Like, I think that's kind of good for how you're bringing this out on the other end here. Maybe you're advocating for others to take. Let's release all the bullshit and let's all just move forward in truth and understanding. I never understood that. I know, like, with politics and stuff, you gotta play your cards close to your chest, like, because it's all just about manipulation. Like, if everyone would just stop manipulating and hiding stuff from one another, the world would be a great place. But no, there's always someone. Advocate, right? The advocate for Aries. That's a lot of advocation. That's too much. It's too much. What are you advocating for? Who or what are you advocating for in the future? And I like it because it inspires you to put compassion into action. This is actually doing. This is not just having a vision of, I want to make the world a better place. It's kind of feeling like I'm going to make the world a better place and this is how I'm going to do it. Oh, I'm going to put one more. Wow. Holy Mother of God. I can't believe that. You know, I just want to say to anybody who's dealing with an Aries, let them do their thing, because whatever they're going to be doing, what are they advocating? What are they changing? They're turning the devil into the Ten of Cups. Holy shish kebab. You do. Everybody, let all the Aries on the planet have just been given the right to do whatever you need to do. You do whatever you need to do here. Shit. Like, I don't know what you're going to do, but that's really good. Wow, how beautiful. Look, there's groups of people. There's groups of people. people, you know, the devil and his two little buddies, and then we have all these 4 people here. It's really interesting. This is one of those readings where I would love to be a psychologist because I love to really go on the deeper. You know who I would love? Jess Puckett would be good for this. She's so good with that psychology stuff. This is one of those, because this is really a reading about whoever's coming, whoever's like resonating with this. I'm not hearing so many crickets in the background. Maybe some people have shared the video. But this is really about self-empowerment, recognizing that regardless of how much you want to be with an energy or a group or whatever that is for you, if it causes some sort of pain or confusion or interferes with the development of who you really want to be or who you think you could be, to pull yourself away from that and own who you are, really own who you are, and then take this into the future to not only free yourself and cut out bullshit and confusion, but be an advocate to free others from entrapment, from toxic energy, from pain and suffering, codependency, bad habits. This is the happiest, the most celebratory card in the deck. I mean, there's a group of people that all come together and they celebrate, and their lives are full of love and wish fulfillment. It's just like really beautiful. Wow. I don't even know what to call this reading. I'm going to go do the extended. What am I going to call this? You guys know because you're watching it. Tell me, what am I going to call this? What am I going to call this? Oh, I'll figure it out. Well, thanks, Aries. That was really inspiring. Okay. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.